I just want to be in position to play basketball somewhere where a coach is going to trust me and he actually believes in me to play, because when I'm comfortable, I feel like, and I trust, and I know I have trust built into me, I feel like I can give you my all. So I feel like any situation that trusts me and invest in me to help their team, I feel like I can do anything they need me to do, whether it's passing, shooting, being a star player, or being a backup point guard. I really just take pieces of Kevin Durant, Steve Nash, Kyrie Irving, just different players from over the years that all do different things and just try to like add it all in one, or do what they do best and add that to the game.
All right, that was Rob Dillingham talking to our guy Shams Charania ahead of the NBA draft there, and some people think he could sneak into the top 5, but not Robbie Hummel. He gave us his mock draft yesterday, 1 through 5 here. Let's take a look at who he picked. Take a look at that, Raphael. So here's what he thinks. What do you think?
I like it. If I would have to make a change, I mean, I got to go Stephon Castle in my top 5. I would take Reed Sheppard out of that top 5. I think Houston's going to get rid of that pick, but I would take Reed Sheppard out of there. I put Stephon Castle in there. I'm a guy that still thinks Zach Edey is better than Donovan Clingan. I would change that up a little bit as well. But
to me.
no, I mean, you play against each other one-on-one for 40 minutes. Zach Edey had 40. Donovan Clingan had 12. I mean, Zach Edey had 40 and 12 and played 39 minutes as a 7'3" big man. Although he lost the game, that's kind of what I mean. He lost that game, but he absolutely dominated that matchup. They had to make a substitute early in that second half to even keep Clingan out of foul trouble, and they went with their backup Johnson, and that's what changed the game, which is why Draymond Green after the game is why I said Johnson won UConn that game in those minutes. But I think Zach Edey dominated him. He showed that he could shoot the ball from 3. I think that's kind of where I feel about it.
All right, well, it seems like Raphael's got his GM hat on, and this is a good thing because we're going to continue this mock draft here with picks 6 through 10. So now we've got the Hornets. They are up here at 6. What do you think they'll do?
I'm going Zach Edey, and it's all bias aside, like I said, but you look at who they have now. You look at LaMelo Ball, you look at Scary Terry, you look at young talent in Brandon Miller. Their guard spots are filled. They have guys that can run the wing, get up and down. They need a big guy that can anchor the middle, rebound the ball, defend at the rim, set a really good ball screen from the LaMelo Ball, and dive to the rim and bring a presence with them. Sometimes you set a ball screen, that ball handler is going to get double teamed because the defense isn't worried about the big man. But you're going to be worried about the 7'3", 300-pound Big Maple diving to the rim. We've seen him pop a little bit, shooting a couple threes. I think Zach Edey would be the perfect fit down there in North Carolina in that system with those young guys.
All right, well, we still have Castle that's on the board here, which leads to the Blazers at 7. What should their process be? Are they taking him?
See, I'm only keeping Castle for fit. But look, I'm going Dalton Connect when you think of 7. You think of the Blazers. He's a 6'5" wing. He can make shots. You think of their young talent. You think of our guard, Scoot Henderson. You think of Simmons. You think of those guys that can score the ball off the bounce, that can create havoc, that can get in the lane, that can have those kickouts. Dalton Connect is a guy from 3 that's going to knock it down, whether it's standing still, coming off double screens, no matter what system he's in. He's a guy that can create for himself, but also he's a bigger guy, bigger wing that can go down there and help Jeremy Grant, help him rebound a little bit, help him guard bigger positions.
All right, well, as you see up there at 8, we've got the Spurs. This will be the second time they're picking here in the top 10. What do you think they'll do this time around?
See, I said Stephon Castle earlier, but that's because I want Stephon Castle to go at 4 so he could be paired with Wemby, but in this situation, he's with Wemby as well. You look at the Spurs, how they build their teams, it's through the draft. You get Tim Duncan, you get Manu, you get Tony Parker, you get Kawhi Leonard. I think you get Wemby, you get Stephon Castle, who else they pick in this draft as well. I think that is going to build the Spurs. Stephon Castle came out of high school as the best point guard in the country. He went to UConn and showed he could play the 2, the 3. He played some 4. He can do it all over the floor. But at 6'5", 6'6", he's going to be a point guard at the next level. He can handle the ball at the ball screen, make shots. I love him with Wemby.
All right, let's get to the Grizzlies at 9. What do you got?
I love Cody Williams. We've talked about Cody Williams on this show before. He's 6'7". He does it on both ends of the floor. He's a guard. He can guard the 1. He can guard the 2. He can guard the 3. He can guard the 4. He can make an open 3. He can get in the lane and make plays. He's a guy that can come in the league. Maybe he won't average 20, 25 points a game, but he gets you 15 points, 7, 8 rebounds, 5, 6 assists, a few steals, guard your best player. I really like Cody Williams. He's a guy that's risen his stock throughout this draft process. He's shown he can do a lot of things. His brother Jalen Williams has shown he can prove himself in the NBA. I love bloodline connections. I think Cody is a guy at the next level. He can be a guy that's going to play 10, 15 years in the NBA.
All right, and then finally at 10, we've got the Utah Jazz. What is their approach here?
I think you go out and get another young bucket off of the bench. And I'm looking at Rob Dillingham coming out of Kentucky, a guy that can just flat out score the ball. He's silky smooth off the dribble, got that wiggle to him. You link Tyrese Maxey, a guy that can just straight up fill it up. Off the bench as a starter, I think you look at Rob Dillingham, as he progresses into his NBA career, you think 4th, 5th year, he's going to be a guy off the bench, can really put the basketball in the hole. He has the confidence to come in, whether he's warm, whether he's cold, he knows how to score the ball, get his teammates involved. I think he's a perfect fit with the Jazz.
All right, good stuff from our guy Ray Fell there. Let's take a look at the top 10. We got Ray Fell's list alongside, we had Robbie's yesterday. Here is Ray Fell's picks. That's a good looking list. I think I'm looking at it, I'm most excited about the Spurs, to be honest. I think they got some really great young stars alongside Victor Wembanyama to maybe do something there. But what stands out to you, JP?
I'm
Matt?
looking at, the Castle I think was interesting. The Klingon thing, now that you push back on what I was saying about your boy Edey and the homerism thing, I do think that's going to be interesting to see how GMs would view it. Mm-hmm. Because the one thing that I do know is when Edey went to the Combine, we had talked about the shooting. Rayfeld was telling us the whole time this guy can shoot it better than you think he can. And he went out there and he looked a lot more natural than I think anybody at his size would look shooting the basketball. You mentioned the head-to-head competition. I think there is some people still that are maybe a little stuck in their ways about the role of a guy like Zach Edey at his size in the NBA. But now you got me stuck on that one. I'm curious to see how it plays out on draft night.
I want to get your thoughts on the Pistons because they're
we
in
don't
dark
need to
times
get
right
any
now.
thoughts there.
And Robbie took Mattis Buzelis. Real quick, do you like that?
I absolutely love Mattis Buzelis. And I was telling Mark that if Mattis Buzelis played a year in college basketball, he would have been #1 pick in the draft, probably by some people. You think about what he did in high school. He's 6'7", 6'8", can handle the ball, can shoot it from 3, can guard multiple positions. I know Cooper Flagg was a little young, and now he's a freshman at Duke, but they matched up head-to-head, and Mattis Buzelis made Cooper Flagg look like a sophomore. He was a senior, he was a sophomore, but he showed why he was the #1 player in the country. He's tough, he's hard-nosed, he has that overseas toughness to him. I think Mattis Buzelis is a guy that just didn't play in college, that we just didn't watch a bunch. But we would have said, if we saw him, we would have knew he'd be the guy.